Shawn Michaels' bodyguard and you're doing all that stuff. Again, that was kind of a short run. Did you like that idea? How was it pitched to you that you were going to be the bodyguard? And do you think it had more legs to it than it had?
It had been pitched to me before. Vince called me. Flew in. We talked about it. I didn't think it was. I think at the first show at WrestleMania, when you're working against the grain, if you're fighting against something that's not working, it's going to be a struggle. And if I'm standing ringside with the other two guys in the ring, and they're chanting my name, and they're wanting me to be the bodyguard, that doesn't work. And so I think, and I don't know this, but the night after that, they changed that, if you remember. I think that's hard for someone to be in the ring and someone to be outside the ring and them chanting your name and not the other person.
But then the next year you would come back and have one of your big runs where you finally became WWF champion. You have the run where you and Shawn are on the same side, and then you get the title shot, and it leads to Survivor Series. And it's funny because before, at the Royal Rumble, Hogan's getting booed and he's supposed to be cheered. And then you go to Survivor Series against Shawn Michaels, who's supposed to be cheered, and then gets booed. Talk a little bit about that Survivor Series match, winning your first championship.
Now, this is some of the things when you asked me about what happened when I went here or there. I actually, when I was doing the Sycho Sid in the beginning, and I took that little time off, I had broken my neck, and the doctor said, one more serious blow and you'll be paralyzed. So I took a year off. And this is a funny story. I took an agriculture job because I'm a farmer from my background. And I never told Vince that I had quit because he was sending me a check every week. True story. And then one day I come home from a convention and he calls and says, again, you need to take the place of the Ultimate Warrior. And so that's what I did. So when I came back, I'd actually come back from an injury that I'd been, that was. And then I went to a doctor, got the okay, and that's when I came back. And then with the time was asking in, things have changed. The ratings would show, and I think people won't understand this, but they actually said that it showed from like the Saturday night skit was Chris Farley that the new audience was a 15-45 male audience, and things changed to where now, like you said, I was cheered as a bad guy. So one night I could work with the bad guy, and the next I could work with a good guy. So that was the first time that was ever done.
What are your memories of that Survivor Series night against Shawn Michaels? You win your first world title in Madison Square Garden.
The story for me is, the biggest part of that was this, is actually that's supposed to have been Vader in that position. And we were at a garden show a couple months before, maybe 4 or 5 months before the pay-per-view, and they said, Sid, we want you to put Vader over because he's going to beat Shawn at the pay-per-view at SummerSlam for the championship. And I said, sure, I don't mind. So we left that night. As I was walking through the curtains there, I saw Vince McMahon, and I could look at his face, and I know he changed his mind on that. So when they pulled me in the office at the next pay-per-view and said, Sid, we're going to make you the champ, I said, I already knew that. And so that, to me, was the big payoff, that I really worked myself in that position. I think everybody knows I'm not really liked that well by Vince. So get someone that doesn't like you that well, put you in that position, and then you force yourself to be successful. To me, that was greater than any belt or anything I could have accomplished.
And I turn around as I set the last 2 little shots down. Jim picked Vince up. And I remember Hulk Hogan looking at me like, are you going to do it, or do I got to find somebody else to do it? And I was like, and I just looked at Hulk Hogan and looked at Hawk, and I just took off and clotheslined Vince full blast.